Okay, wow, there's a whole lot of them there. Okay, so, but let me just address the end time issue generally from Matthew chapter 24. Okay, this is where Jesus Christ gives his apostles ask him, what will it be like when you come again? Okay, at the second coming. And here's what he has to say. Matthew 24, we'll start at verse 4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Okay, we got a lot of deceivers. This Anglo-Saxon business.
Now this was just after, wasn't this just after his encounter with the bad guys?
Oh yeah, right, yeah. Well, the scribes and Pharisees were always trying to trip him up and get him to emit hate speech, okay, against the Pharisees and the Sadducees, right? They were always trying to get him to commit hate speech. And he always knew what was on their minds, and so he never fell for it. Okay, and then verse 5, for many shall come in my name. And we're talking about, and from my perspective, the entire Judeo-Christian world comes in his name but doesn't represent his beliefs, okay? Saying, I am Christ, or I am a Christian, and these people shall deceive many, okay? So as far as I'm concerned, the entire Judeo-Christian world is the false prophet of the book of Revelation, which teaches lies in the name of Christ, or in the name of the Bible, okay? And I could probably go down the list, the heresies that are being taught by the Judeo-Christian churches today. It used to be that homosexuals were not accepted into the Christian church. It used to be that thieves weren't accepted into the Christian. It used to be that usurers weren't accepted into the Christian churches. Okay, and the Wiccans. It used to be that Wiccans weren't accepted into the Christian, or voodoo practitioners. Today, the Judeo-Christian churches have opened the doors to virtually every freak and freakish philosophy in order to expand the territory, okay? But Jesus clearly said that straight is the gate that leads to salvation, and broad is the highway that leads to damnation, okay? So what the churches have done is they've opened the doors to virtually every doctrine that Jesus rejected and now claim that it's Christian, okay? So let's continue here. And this really applies.
So you're saying basically mainstream. Oh, well, there's a lot of questions there. I'll go ahead and just let you go through those questions. And by the way, you might want to read those ahead of time so they'll kind of get an idea what the questions were.
Yeah. Well, let me just go through Matthew chapter 24, and then I'll look at those questions again.
Okay, sure.
But here, and then you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And, of course, that's very much true today. We're always hearing about rumors of wars. We got two main wars going on, the ones in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we have rumors of wars in Iran and elsewhere, right? See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. We had World War I, World War II. We had two world wars, and we're expecting World War III. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Now, we find that in the last 30 years, we've had a marked increase in earthquakes worldwide. For example, let me quote some statistics here. From between 1960 and 1970, I don't have the strength. Okay, here it is. 7.0 or greater, okay? And from 1960 to 1970, major earthquakes 7.0 or greater, or there were 13 in that decade, okay? Between 1970 and 1980, there were 46. Between 1980 and 1990, there were 52. Now, hold on to your horses. Between 1990 and 2000, there were 149.
Wow.
Okay, so it tripled in the last decade, before this decade of the new millennium. It tripled from 1980, the 80s decade to the 90s decade. It tripled, okay? And also already this year, we've had 3 major earthquakes. We had Japan, Chile, and where was the other one? Oh, yeah, Haiti. Okay.
Yes, Haiti.
And these were all like within the last month or so. So we're seeing an increase in major earthquakes, and there's a lot of this activity going to continue. Yeah, and I think the reason for it is all of the underground and underwater atomic detonations that have been going on, and the various HARP technologies. Tesla invented these technologies by which you could actually create earthquakes with a machine, okay? And
right.
the HARP technology, I think they have one up in Norway, and we have one in Alaska. And these devices can actually create hurricanes, tropical storms, earthquakes, tidal waves, et cetera, et cetera. They have the capability.
So this wasn't necessarily a prophecy about things that were going to naturally occur. It was actually an attack, probably by things
right.
that we have use of technology today that causes it.
Right, and right
now that's kind of something that I got to thinking about when I saw this. I'm going, maybe this isn't just about what things were going to occur because they were natural, but more along the lines of using technology.
Yes, and when I say HARP, maybe some people don't know, it's HAARP, high altitude. I forget what the letters stand for, but it's a very high energy antenna grid that projects energy up into the atmosphere, and it can project energy under the ocean. It can project energy just about anywhere. Okay, and it's very high tech, and it's very, very energy consuming, and probably HARP causes more radiation pollution than just about all the other sources we have put together. And it's semi-secret, and it's a weaponry technology is what it is.
And the good guys don't have control, I would assume.
No, and it's stealth warfare because they can create earthquakes at their enemies' locations. And a lot of people, the earthquake we had in China a few months ago, a lot of people accused the HARP grid of manufacturing that earthquake as well.
Well, they definitely have plausible deniability. With it being natural. I mean, you don't have a smoking gun almost, except we have been tracking that those frequencies in the 1 to 5 hertz were being, and by the way, I did track that and posted that, Eli, on our blog, but those were coming on just prior, and there has been a research project talking about over 5.0 magnitude that HARP's always seems to have been on, and that's of recent. So, hey, just that alone's pretty important, I would think, as far as understanding, the weather and the earth changes, and I guess maybe volcanoes, maybe.
So a lot. Right.
Go ahead.
So a lot of these predictions are the result not of natural, developments, but of high tech and semi-secret technology, okay? And so this actually, like I said, it's warfare, high-tech warfare, weather warfare, earthquake warfare, and
I guess this could
high temperature warfare. Yeah, I was trying to think of the word temperature. Yes.
Well, I was going to say, and I'm sure that these half alien Nephilim were very deeply involved in this. Would you have to? Oh,
absolutely. Okay. Although my understanding is that all of this is pretty much based on Nikola Tesla's inventions and copyrights. Nikola Tesla was probably the most brilliant scientist who ever lived. He had maybe 10 times as many patents as Thomas Edison, and the development. He's actually the one who developed alternating current. Thomas Edison opposed Tesla's idea of alternating current and tried to institute direct current, but direct current only has a limited range, and you have to have too many booster generators. And so it was actually Tesla who built the dam the power station at Niagara Falls, yet it's called